Welcome back to the Vicari Collector Car Auction. Any Beach Boys fans out there remember the song Little Deuce Coupe? Well, this is what it was all about. A 1932, there's the Deuce Ford. Only they changed them. They're one of the most popular street rods manufactured anywhere by the aftermarket guys. This one, they did it right. It would originally had a Ford flathead V8 in it. They put a big 454 Chevy in it with electronic fuel injection, and believe me, it will get up and go. Beautiful custom leather interior. The most popular street rod ever offered is the Deuce Coupe, or in this case, the Roadster. By the way, with no roof on it, you wonder what happens if you're out touring and it starts raining? Well, they'll tell you, you just drive faster. And believe me, some of them do. The Deuce goes on the auction block right now. Let's see where the bidding starts, Dave.
Ted, this is a classic, and you know, a lot of them from back in that day, this is how I'd say probably most of them ended up. You'd be hard pressed to find one that's in stock condition.
Actually started drag racing these back in the early 50s.
25, I got 22.5 bid, asking 25 grand, but I never 25 more to give it 5, but I never see 5, but I never got me 5.
33, yeah, gotta be 33. Net to it. It's a hard sell because it's very hard. It don't have a top, it don't have roll-up windows, don't have a heater. You may as well have a motorcycle.
24.
They're trying to get the owner right now to lift his reserve, trying to convince him that it's kind of a tough sell.
I think it's debatable. A lot of folks would like it just the way it is, Ted.
Oh, believe me, these are very popular. As you can see, we're already up to $25,000.
Of course, this isn't the stock motor in this, but back in 1932, this was the first Ford to actually offer a V8 engine. Ted, it made a whopping 65 horsepower.
Oh, yeah, I know. And that same flathead Ford continued clear up through about 1953.
We have a new bidder. Now 31. Thank you.
Do it one more time. I'll drive it home for you.
Now 2. Now 32.
Come on! Man, make him bid again. Remember last night you said I should have pushed you on that bicycle? Come on. I'm going to push you on this one. 32. 31.5. Now you'll ask me that. Why didn't you push me on that car a little more? You're going to ask me that.
Well, then I want to pay. 31.5, 32,000, how? Close bid at 31.5. See Steve on that card. Thank you.
Not every car meets the reserve here on the auction block, but that doesn't mean it won't sell. Dave's out on the floor, has more on that subject.
If a car doesn't meet the reserve, the deal doc, Steve Williams, is the guy to talk to. Steve, what kind of deals are you making once these cars don't sell and come off the block?
Absolutely. We put together a tremendous amount of deals. Say, for instance, a reserve was $60,000 and the high bid was $50,000. I'll work with a seller, work with a potential buyer, and we'll find a happy medium somewhere in between. If I got a bride and a groom, I will marry them.
Well, here's a great car to take to the wedding or maybe the prom.
It's an unbelievable car.
By the way, Ted, that Deuce is still available if you want to go buy that for the deal doctor. I'll take over while you run down there.
That actually was a pretty good price on that car.
I have a feeling this one's going to go for a little more. Now we're going to see where this goes, Ted. Back in 2019, this sold at another auction, this particular car, for $81,000. And we're getting there right now, $75,000 right now, but the reserve's still on.
What do you bet the reserve is probably going to be more than 81, Dave?
It's going up and up and up.
You in, Dave?
No,
Why not?
Buy it.
Well, buy it.
I ain't giving that kind of money.
Get more.
Now, over the course of 9 years, they only made 132 of these. This is number one, so that in and of itself makes it a collector car.
Indeed, it does. 132 limousines.
Yeah, 132 of the Imperial limos. And they were designed by Ghia, the Coachworks company in Italy. They designed cars for Alfa Romeo, for Fiat, Ferrari, of course Volkswagen with the Carnegie and many others.
Well, we're above that 81,000 number it sold for earlier, $85,000.
Yes, sir.
Take the reserve off!
Now the reserve has been lifted, so the car is going to sell, Dave.
87.5. Be the last guy. Did you get it? Now 90.
They're the original Hemi. A lot of people think the Hemi didn't come out until the 60s. You would be wrong. Came out in the 50s.
Sold!
We sold another one. Dave is down with the winning bidder. You may recognize this guy's last name if you follow drag racing.
What was it about this Chrysler Imperial that caught your eye?
There's two things. One, it's 25 feet long. So, I mean, obviously it's an awesome car. But for me, it's a serial number 1 car. It was the first one out of the series of 35 or so that were built. I have 3 other VIN number 1 cars. The first ever Chrysler 300 built, the first one in 57, and the first one in 58. So I specifically try to collect serial number 1 cars. And I sent a picture of it to my dad while we were here, and he goes, "I'll drive it home." When you get a message like that, you just got to go for it. When he lifted the reserve, I was ready to buy it.
How much does the history of the vehicle play into your decision?
In that case, the history of it didn't matter to me. The VIN number mattered to me. The fact that it was the first one and the fact that my dad loves it. My dad's 78 years old. Him and I are super close. We'll drive that car. That car has moved around and stayed in collections. You'll see it at events. We drive what we buy. So that's the part I'm excited about. People will see that car that have never seen it. And that's what the car hobby's about.
And of course, he talks about his dad. We all know the name. It's Herb McCandless, known as Mr. 4-Speed, with the Sox and Martin cars back in the old drag racing days.
Herb also drove for Billy the Kid Step. Coming up, a car that's a blast from the future.